As President Trump gets ready to hit the campaign trail in Pennsylvania today, there's a bit of a debate over what his and Republicans' messaging should be headed into 2020. More focused on the economy, maybe? If last week is any indication, not so much the case, right? The New York Times writes, President Trump and his top advisors sent mixed signals about a possible war with Iran. Mr. Trump outlined a hardline immigration proposal that had little chance of passing. And in Alabama, the Republican governor there signed a bill that would effectively ban abortion. And on that last point, you know, it's not just Alabama. In all, 30 states have introduced pretty restrictive abortion measures, including 2 bills in Michigan. But in that state, the Democratic governor has already promised to veto them. She joins me now. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer is with us. Also back on set, Anna Palmer and Phil Rucker. Governor, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be with you, and I'm glad you're highlighting this issue. It's really important.
Give me a timing update in your state. Have these bills reached your desk? When do you plan to veto them?
So last week, both chambers of the Michigan legislature, Republican-controlled, passed bills to outlaw a procedure known as dilation and evacuation. This is a safe medical procedure that has saved women's lives, that has protected their reproductive ability in the future, and that is now under attack here in Michigan. The good news is that we've got 3 pro-choice Democratic women at the top of state office here in Michigan, and we are all absolutely committed to protecting a woman's right to choose. And so my veto pen is ready when they send those bills to my desk.
And the expectation is that'll happen soon, right?
Well, it could be this week, it could be next week. They moved last week because Right to Life was in town, and it's one special interest group that is pushing this, and it's a distraction from all the other important things we really need to be tackling.
In this discussion, we're now seeing female lawmakers, more women from both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans, coming forward and sharing their very personal stories. One example is Republican State Congresswoman Nancy Mace from South Carolina. I want to play for you what she had to say in her state.
I'm beginning to think some of you think all women who are raped lie about being raped. From some of us who've been raped, it can take 25 years to get up the courage and talk about being a victim of rape.
And I know, Governor, that this is an issue that is very personal for you as well. Can you talk about how going public, in your view, could help to change the debate or shape the debate?
Well, I think so many of these decisions are made in a vacuum with a bunch of men sitting around a table and deciding what a woman's rights should be, what our access to health care, trying to control women by controlling our bodies. And the fact of the matter is, sadly, a legislator like the one that you just played, or me when I was in the legislature, have to go to the microphone and tell our most personal, sad, toughest stories because we want to put a face on this. This is not just an issue in a vacuum. This is about families and women and our rights and our autonomy, and that's why it's so important that women are standing up, and our allies, our male allies too as well. This is about control and autonomy and freedom. It's not about anything other than that, no matter what they say, and that's why we share our stories, even if it's the most painful, vulnerable way to go to a microphone. It's critical that people understand the real-world impacts of cruel, poorly informed laws like the ones that are passing in various states and the one being debated here in Michigan, too.
This is obviously, Governor, something you feel passionately about. So before I let you go, I want to ask about the politics of this, because in 2016, President Trump won your state by, I think, 1/3 of a percentage point. Do you see this issue as potentially mobilizing Democrats and maybe helping a Democrat win your state come 2020, or no?
Well, you know what? People in Michigan want the roads fixed. They want opportunities to get into skills, they get into a higher paying job, and to clean up drinking water and protect the Great Lakes. These are the fundamentals that people are focused on here. So whether it's trade wars that are hurting the auto industry to our farmers here in Michigan, or it is immigration policy, it's all a distraction from the core things that we really want and need to see. And so I do think that it is helpful for, a potential Democratic candidate in Michigan.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer, thank you very much for coming on the show. I appreciate it. Anna and Phil, as you're listening